Ad Astra, or Ad Astra. I know it's supposed to be called Ad Astra, but I kind of just want to call it Ad Astra because that's how I originally called it, and it just sounds right for some reason. Ad kind of feels like an advertisement, whereas AD feels like it's on par with BC, like history, time, space, the universe. It kind of just feels connected. But anyway, Ad Astra stars Brad Pitt, this astronaut who ventures to the edge of the solar system to search for his missing father, played by Tommy Lee Jones, who believes that alien life exists somewhere within our solar system. First off, I just want to say that this movie looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, the cinematography is just incredible. And I also like how there is a lot of very small, interesting details. This movie is set in the future, which is cool because you see how people are already inhabiting the moon and how people have landed on Mars, and like rockets that go into outer space are like treated as an airline. So it's just really cool to see what the near future could possibly look like. The acting was also great, but you kind of expect that in every movie now, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about how perfect Brad Pitt's facial expressions were. However, my overall thoughts on this movie is mixed. Normally, with most movies, I normally say go in with no expectations because you'll most likely enjoy the movie a lot more. But with this movie, I think it's important to go in with at least some expectation as to what you're going to get, or watch the movie at least twice. Let me tell you why. This is a movie that is very slow paced, and it has a lot of themes revolving around life, family, psychology, and if you're not prepared for this, then the movie might bore you, like it did for me. I'm someone who is very interested in space and the universe just because it's such a dark and mysterious place, and I get really excited when I watch a documentary about planets or like a movie about space, or is set in space. However, this movie wasn't as exciting as I thought it'd be because there isn't a very big emphasis on space or planets. There were some exciting elements which were great, but all that kind of disappeared after the first act. The rest of the movie felt like a really slow burn with a lot of dialogue. Almost all of the storytelling is through dialogue. There are a lot of instances where it's just people talking and the story evolves and you learn more because of that, which is fine, it makes the movie feel very realistic, but from a viewer's point, it kind of feels boring and dragged on. Even though it's a kind of boring way to tell a story, in this movie's case, I think it might be the only way. Brad Pitt also does a lot of voiceovers, which kind of sound like BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein.
You put a Nazi on the moon.
Which is pretty cool. But this kind of plays in part with what I was talking about before, but I think without the voiceovers, we would probably get lost in the story. The pacing of the movie also feels kind of off. Like the time where Brad Pitt was spent weeks on end traveling through the solar system, that time was so short compared to some of the sequences where they were just sitting down and talking. I would have liked to see more of his journey through the solar system. But I guess in order to like this movie, you have to know what you're getting yourself into. This movie is one of the few movies that didn't go the way I expected it to go at all. The movie is ultimately about an astronaut's journey finding his missing father and his emotional and psychological behaviors. It's less about the action or the exciting elements that I was expecting. And, it's probably even surprising that those elements are even in this movie. Basically, this is a space movie that doesn't feel like a space movie. Looking at this movie after thinking about it for a day or two, it made me realize that this is actually a very special movie. But unfortunately, it's just not for me. I'm going to give Ad Astra a C+. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have you seen Ad Astra? What did you think about it? Please leave a comment on your thoughts below. Like the video if you liked it, and drop a sub to help the channel out. Also, feel free to check out my previous video. Until next time.